So I'm just gonna not say anything else about not having book hauls or having fewer book hauls, because clearly it's not true. Because we're doing back-to-back book hauls. I know I just had one a couple weeks ago, and it's been, you know, a few weeks of just dead space on the vlog. I just haven't really had time. But one thing that I can do very quickly, and that everybody loves, is a good book haul. And yes, once again, I had enough this month to make it worth putting in a haul. I don't know why I would try to deny to myself that I'm ever going to get to the point where there will be fewer book hauls, because it's just not true. I'm trying, I really am. But anyway, unlike most of my book hauls, the majority of these weren't just randomly sent to me. These are things I actively bought, so I have only myself to blame. But they were kind of amazing deals and I had to do it, so, you know, it happens. But this is what is new to my shelves in February. All of the books I'm going to show you will be linked in the description box, so make sure you check that out for more info. But now let's get into it. Sorry if this video is a little dark. I'm losing the light, so I'm going to try to speed through quickly, but we all know how that works out. I'm going to start with a couple that I got at the Dollar Tree, because I was shopping for sort of last minute fill-in decoration things with my best friend for her bridal shower, and happened to find books. Just happened to go down that book aisle. Don't know how that came to be. And while I was just moseying down that book aisle to get from point A to point B, nothing to see here, I happened to spot Yellow Cake by Margot Lanigan. This has actually been on my to-get list for quite some time. It's a little bit ridiculous because I actually think I have, if not everything, then almost everything that Lanigan has written, and have not read one of them yet, which is absurd. Why do I do that? But every now and then you come across an author where you just are pretty sure they're gonna gel with you. I think maybe I read a short story by her that I really liked, and the synopses for her books and the kind of tendency to make people uncomfortable and be a little no holds barred, it just calls to me. So I keep finding her books for super discounted rates, and I snatch them up every time. And now I think I have like all of them, so maybe I just need to have a month devoted to her or something. But I had to get Yellow Cake, which is a collection of her short stories. Couldn't beat it for $1. The other book that I picked up there was Night Broken by Patricia Briggs. This is part of the Mercy Thompson series, which I love and have been meaning to get back around to. I've read most of them. I think I'm maybe 2 or 3 books behind. I think I'm 3 books behind, because I think I have one that I haven't read. I still need to get the book in between that one and this one, which is the most recent, maybe? There might be another one after this. I really don't know, but regardless, I really like the series, and I've been meaning to pick up the ones I don't have anyway. I don't necessarily buy as many series anymore, especially things that I go through as quickly as these. But this is one that I did buy all of them and even pre-ordered a number of them, so I'm not gonna not complete the series unless she like goes off on a Laurel K. Hamilton like weirdness and just I completely lose interest. And since I'm not at that point yet, and I really like Patricia Briggs' writing, I think I said her name wrong, but you know what I'm saying. I eventually was gonna get this book anyway, so I was super excited to see the hardcover for $1. That made my thrifty soul very happy. But I got some even better deals than that. I've been stopping at a local library pretty frequently lately, and all of the libraries in my county have Friends of the Library sales where books that they've weeded or books that have been donated are sold very cheaply, and they go into the Friends of the Library account for different events that they host, authors that they bring, anything like that. So I love to always just browse through anytime I'm in any of the libraries and see what they've got, but because this is a library that I really hadn't gone to frequently and didn't realize how close it was to my house, it has a whole selection of books that I haven't browsed through at all, whereas all the other ones are kind of like I've picked through them. So I found a couple of books which were $1 for paperback and 50 cents or $1 for hardcover. It's what I ended up getting was Perfume by Patrick Suskind. This I have actually read quite some time ago and loved it, but I don't own a copy, so when I saw that, had to snatch it up. Do all of the covers have boobs on them? The cover I read had boobs on it too. In fact, I think in one of my previous videos I told the story about that, but in case you missed that, because that was probably a few years ago, When I read this, which, God, it had to have been about 10 years ago by now. Oh, that's crazy. That was like an instant feel old moment. Anyway, when I read this, the cover that I read had like a Renaissance kind of art print on it that wrapped around. So it had a woman on the cover, on the front cover, and then when you flipped it over, it was the same thing, just reversed on the back. And as most Renaissance women, she was, you know, naked, like piece of gossamer wrapped around her. And so my little brother, who was in his maybe early teens at the time, came home and just being silly, but, you know, kind of dramatic, came home and saw it sitting on the kitchen table, and it was like, ah, boobs! And he flipped it over to the back where the same picture was, and again was like, ah! And just ran out of the room. So that's what I think of every time I see this, and it's kind of funny. I wonder if he'd have the same reaction to this one, since it also has boobs. More subtle ones, though, this time. That really took a tangent. The rest of what I got. I also picked up a copy. Seriously, Koppel. I also picked up a copy of Where'd You Go, Bernadette by Marie Sep. I also picked a oh my god, for the love of God. I also picked up a copy of Where'd You Go, Bernadette by Maria Semple. Semple. I also picked up a copy of Where'd You Go, Bernadette by Maria Semple. I think I might have an audiobook. Audiobook? Are you kidding me? 11 tables! I also picked up a copy of Where'd You Go, Bernadette by Maria Semple. I think I might have an audiobook version of this. I want to say that it was part of the like audiophile summer audiobook thing that they do where they give away free ebooks or audiobooks. Jesus. I don't know where my brain is today. Or it was super cheap on Amazon or something. I just, for whatever reason, feel like I might have the audiobook of this. Or maybe the ebook? I'm really not sure, and I could be totally wrong. Maybe I was gonna get it, meant to get it, and it didn't happen. Regardless, 25 cents, I had to. And then the other book that I got from the library sale was The Bone Setter's Daughter by Amy Tan. I believe I have one or two other books by Amy Tan, and again, I haven't read them yet because story of my life, but this just sounded really good, so had to. Speaking of library, I also requested a book from the library, and it is The Art of Chalk by Tracy Lee Stum, and it is supposed to be techniques and inspiration for creating art with chalk. And I thought it would have more kind of tutorials and maybe like some hand lettering guides or templates or techniques or something, but really it seems to just be like an exploration of chalk artists' art. So it was kind of disappointing as far as the whole techniques and inspiration thing. I mean, maybe inspiration, but the chalk art that they show tends to be like that crazy 3D street art, and who's gonna pick up a book like this and then whip out something like that, you know? So it wasn't really suited to my purposes. Still on the hunt for a good chalk lettering sort of typographer's book, so if you have recommendations, let me know. And then the last thing in this haul is from Scholastic, and this is the only random thing sent to me, and it is, get rid of the little sheet. Okay, the little sheet doesn't want to come out, so just fold that over for a minute. And it is Washed Ashore by Kerr Thomas, not sure how you say that. And according to the little sheet, it is described as the winner of the Times Chicken House fiction competition, and it says, it is a unique and moving thriller debut set by the sea with a dark undercurrent underneath. It's a little redundant, undercurrent underneath, making it the perfect summer read. Set in Scotland, sounds pretty interesting. This one comes out May 30th, so there is quite a wait on this one, but if you want to know more about it or hear an excerpt or first impressions, let me know. So that is all for yet another book haul. I don't know when I'll see you again for another one, and I'm gonna make no promises or guarantees or projections because those have not been working out well for me. So just, you know, I have an open doors policy when it comes to books, I guess, and I need to just embrace that about myself. Eventually they're gonna crowd me out of my house, and maybe I'll just build a new house with all the books. But for now, that is all for this haul. Let me know what you thought in the comments, and if you have read or want to read any of these or want to know more about them. As I said, everything I've mentioned will be linked in the description below, so you can find out more about those there. And that is all for now. Until next time, thanks for watching and happy reading!